Up, it's on. I want you to Mimi Zimmerman. What?
Hello. Hello.
Yep, so we'll just say yes. Now, I don't know if I use other portal, I may screw this up. So if I use that other portal, I may screw this up.
I guess I could stand. Okay, here's all our stuff. Here's our lights. There's our candles. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, where is I? We're not here. I brought something for him, but I don't see him. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bump. Bump, ba-bump. 1, 2, 3. That's it. It was 4, but it's 3. 1, 2, 3. Next 10 minutes. Bump, ba-bump, bump, bump, ba-bump, bump, bump. Okay, I don't know. I'll figure it out. One, 2, 3. No, I'm moving around. I'll be bouncing around because I don't want to mess with the sound system. I'm going to be moving down in a moment. First, let me just say Shabbat Shalom to everybody. It is wonderful. I'm going to be moving down there because let me just say that, first let me say that we have some people at home who might not be able to get here tonight for physical ailments or other reasons, or maybe they have a night job, a day job, they just went to sleep. Whatever the reason, when I point here, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just letting those at home know who are streaming that you are in our thoughts and prayers if you're not feeling well, and we include them in our blessings later, and we're thinking of you. So that's, if you think I'm having a weird moment, I'm looking at the people who are streaming, and as always, we have a number of people, Jeff Kateser and Mark Sloter, and I'm not sure who else, who are all in the back in a small, tight, intimate space because they devote themselves to making sure our services stream every week for people who are unable to be here. The second thought I want to share before we move on is I want to thank my wife, Mimi, who is always wonderful to lead with, but doesn't really love doing it, and agreed to do it because it's Valentine's Day. And the problem being married to a rabbi when Valentine's Day occurs on Shabbat, not very often, is if you want a date night, got to come to temple. So she agreed, and don't worry, we'll go out another night. Don't worry. You know, it's an interesting thing because I know a lot of people who are troubled by other either American or formerly Christian festivals, but I'm yet to meet anyone who's ever said to me, "Darn it, Rabbi, you know Valentine's Day is Christian and no one should be eating chocolate and going out to eat." Haven't met a Jew who said that in my whole career. So anyway, hopefully you all went out. And if you don't like Valentine's Day, I'm so glad we could give you somewhere else to be. That's just your temple at work. But it's really wonderful to have you here. And before we begin, before we start with our service, first I want to thank Dr. Ross, who volunteers always when we have visiting groups to welcome them and to teach them a little bit about our faith, to show them the Torah scrolls. And I'm told we have the Saginaw United Methodist Church confirmation class with us. Raise your hands. I wanted to do that because we have a few visitors, and I'm worried I'll turn to the wrong people and say, are you the confirmation class? So thank you for being with us. What a night. It's wonderful to make the trip and to be here with us, and you're going to get to see a little bit of everything tonight, reading the Torah and everything, so that's really great. We're glad you're here. The other thing we can do to show appreciation to Dr. Ross and to Jackie Bostek, a member of our board, is that we are trying to get people to sign up for the World Zionist Congress. And when there's more room in the service pamphlet, beginning next week, we'll talk about it, but it's in the e-blast, and the very short version is the World Zionist Congress was created with the State of Israel, before the State of Israel, so that Jews outside of Israel would have a voice. So, a major chunk of money, because we can't vote in their government, we don't live there, but a major chunk, hundreds of millions of dollars of money that support the State of Israel are dictated by representation in the World Zionist Congress. So if you want to support reform or conservative kindergartens, if you want to advocate for other types of schools and programs in Israel that aren't supported by the government, the proportion of who votes in the diaspora affects money. We're not telling them which peace plan to sign. We're not getting involved in politics, but we are supporting our religious agenda that's going to allow for more inclusivity and freedom of religion for other Jews. That's a longer sermon. It's not tonight, but you have a month to sign up for the World Zionist Congress. Can they do it tonight? After services, there are two people here, Q, Jackie, and Michael, Doctor, who can help you with the Oneg Shabbat. The chocolate Oneg Shabbat, it might not be as chocolate as I originally wished, but I do need to thank Jeannie Long for our chocolate challah. So there we go. Not that we've ever needed a reason. So before we begin, let's welcome each other. I've taken enough time saying hello. Turn to those around you. If you know them, if you don't know them, wish them Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Jack. Wait, I'm going to take my notes. You hear me on this mic? Maybe, yes. Maybe if I really speak up. We'll find out. Okay. I stand up. Shabbat Shalom. I know some people in the back can't see me. I'll stand for a moment. Stand, you know what? No? Okay. Sit. It's okay. It's Shabbat. But I want to make sure we're going to begin on page 128 with Maya Hayom. How beautiful, how wonderful Shabbat is. Please join in with us.
Maya Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
We turn to page 120, the light of Shabbat candles. Jackie Bostek, a member of our board, and our worship committee, and other things, our prime timer chair. You want to know what any of those things are, ask her later, is going to help us by welcoming Shabbat. And I should point out that we have different prayer books with different page numbers. So if you're a guest and you have two sets of page numbers, I'm always referring to the one in brackets. Page 120.
Okay,
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. I'm sorry, it's just not staying. I was so proud that there was a big candle. I mean, a big match. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishayu mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'hadin b'nei shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you. And we're going to turn to page 142, and we're going to continue with Shalom Aleichem, that prayer that is a part of Kabbalat Shabbat, the service that welcomes Shabbat into our midst as we join together.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharit, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Teichem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
I'll share a few thoughts. I'm going to do them up here so I don't hog the microphone. Sort of shifting between the two tonight. I think it's a little less formal, this service. A little more of all of us just together. And Judy, I didn't know you'd be here, so I'll give you this afterwards. You can let her know. So, it's Valentine's Day and it's Shabbat. And it's the Shabbat when we read from Parshat Yitro. Parshat Yitro is the story of 10 Commandments. First chocolate for you. The story of the 10 Commandments. Anybody know what big event, Rabbi Mecklenburger, you can't answer. Anybody know what big event occurs in Yitro, the 10 Commandments? Thank you very much. Though the same night we celebrate a holiday of chocolate romance, which originally has other connotations, but mostly now forgotten, although they had to do with a saint and dowries, so that's kind of related also, at least according to legend. We have a Torah portion that is considered the greatest Jewish love story, which means that I can't resist, because how often do we read the 10 Commandments, or as they're called in Hebrew, Eser HaDibrot, the 10 utterances, on Valentine's Day? It's a rare occurrence. Well, we will tonight in a little while, and so I thought we would take a few moments to talk about love, specifically the love between God and the Jewish people. The love affair that suffuses our readings, our relationships that are the very center of thousands of years of Jewish texts. Our prayer book is filled with love poems to God. You may not have thought of them that way, but let me point out a few that we will move through tonight over the course of our service. And I am only highlighting a few. At this moment, we are in Kabbalat Shabbat, the service for psalms and poems that are written or said as liturgy during the 1500s and formulated in the northern Israel community of Tzfat. Refugees from the Spanish expulsion saw their world turned upside down. Hundreds of years of Jewish life in Spain gone, suddenly thrust into a new land. For them, it was not about arriving for Israel. For them, it was about being thrown out of everything they knew and loved into a place they could barely recognize, far from home. These mystics tried to understand their relationship with God in the face of unimaginable upheaval. Their mystical beliefs led them to the theology of a broken world, a world of a less powerful God, but a world that would soon see the messianic reunion of God and the Jewish people as one, complete, or so they believed. The end of days when the Jewish people would renew their vows and God would be strong again. Now, in fairness, I am quickly jumping through a lot of mystical thought, but it resulted in a flowering of poetry and prayer that you find in this part of our service, Kabbalah, the welcoming of Shabbat. A service of 6 psalms, one marked for each day of the week, culminating in Lecha Dodi, when the bride, according to the mystics, the feminine side of God, the Sabbath, the Shekhinah, represented there, would help the Jews become one by being reunited with the groom, the masculine attributes of God. And then concluding with a 7th psalm earmarked for Shabbat that spoke of God's potential strength in days to come. A love affair renewed out of the world's brokenness. Put those thoughts aside for a moment. Shortly thereafter, we come to the Baruch Hu, the call to pray as one, followed by the Shema. The question, if you haven't thought about it, is what precedes and follows the words of the Shema? When the rabbis were discussing the order of the prayer service in Babylonian Palestine 1,500 to 1,800 years ago, they agreed that God's love for us had to be the theme that framed what is called the watchword of our faith, the Shema, the prayer that affirms that God is one. And they had a debate. In that debate, Ahavat Rabbah, which means God's great big love, and Ahavat Olam, God's eternal love, were 2 different prayers. And they debated which prayer should be read in the daily service. Teacher named Samuel suggested it should always be Ahavat Rabbah because God's love is great, and what could be more important? But over time, his opinion was rejected because the rabbis argued eternal love is greater than boundless love. And that, as you probably know, is what won out. Because even if you didn't know there was a struggle, most of you who are regular know that in a little while at our evening service, we're going to sing Ahavat Olam. Rabbi Doan, in his book on prayer, makes the following observation. Ahavat Rabbah, great love, big love, is what you feel when you're hit with a sudden infatuation. Eternal love, a love that is greater than a crush, a love that is grander than lust, a love that survives sickness and anger and good days and bad, a love that may be torn and trampled but is never completely broken, a love that is ready to be renewed when the other partner is ready to do the work. That is the love prayer that the rabbis pick to be said at night with the encroaching darkness of the evening service. It is the love we hope and pray for, not just between couples. It is the love we long for between parents and children, between siblings, between best friends. We rarely get that love, but surely we aspire to have it in our lives. How many of us have had those feelings for another, even if it was not returned? How many of us in broken relationships with family or friends are still ready to say, when you're ready to come home, I am ready to try again? Boundless love. Ahavat Olam. And that is the relationship the rabbis of Babylonia picked for their evening prayer introduction to the Shema. That great affirmation of God's oneness. Okay? And what comes after the Shema? Come on, you think it's a trick question. V'ahavta, excellent. Chair of the worship committee, good work. What comes right after the v'ahavta? And if Ahavas Olam tells us that God does not forget us, then the v'ahavta asks the question, if this is a love affair, a marriage, a covenant, what does God expect back from us on the other end of the Shema? The v'ahavta is the answer. As we read it later in English, you can think about that. The missing piece, if you will. Our commitments through our daily lives and actions. It's a very concrete prayer. Probably the most concrete prayer in its expectations of us that we may read tonight, other than the Torah. And then soon after this section of the service, there's another section. I'm only picking highlights. You could find 20 more of these. But we will arrive at the pinnacle of our Jewish worship service. When we open the doors, we take out the Torah, the retelling of the love story between God and the Jewish people, expressed in all its forms, through discovery, through betrayal, through renewal, through restoration. Tonight we will read from the Torah, as will Jews this Shabbat around the world. I didn't just change the Torah portion to make my sermon work. Tonight, Jews around the world this weekend will read, if you will, what some have called the marriage ceremony between God and the Jewish people. The giving of the Ten Commandments, the ketubah, if you will, not my words, the wedding contract of expectations, Torah, has been said by many to be the dowry given to the bride on the wedding night. And no matter what happens, we cheat, God disappears for a little while when the going gets tough, we're affected by and afflicted by challenges and distractions, Torah remains as a reminder that the contract can always be renewed. A little later tonight, we will stand and receive the Ten Commandments again. And as is the custom in many synagogues of Abel, we will be standing during the reading of the Ten Commandments. What a great moment. And if you don't come back next week, it's a happy ending. If you do, this penultimate moment is what should be, is followed by the building of the golden calf. What we'll call being a little bit unfaithful. We'll complain about manna, the food that God gives us from above as we wander through the desert. God will threaten to destroy us. And at the moment when Moses says, I need more, God, more evidence, more assurance, this job is too hard. The Israelites don't get it. I need to know that you are really there. Even the Torah is not enough for me. God will say to Moses, you can't see me, but you can feel me in the attribute of rachamim, the attribute of mercy, for I am a merciful God. Rachamim, the root for mercy, the word God uses to Moses, is the same three-letter root, resh chet mem, the same word as womb. God's attribute of mercy, then, is also, in a way, God's birthing of the Jewish people. God's love is a love that is always there, but our relationship with God is not one of perfect love. It is not one of perfect commitment, flawless. It mirrors the reality of our own real-life relationships that are not perfect. It is not the Valentine's Day night out that we all got right, with just the right music and just the right mood. It is the Valentine's Day out where everything goes wrong. The service is slow. Your date gets sick. You tell the waiter no nuts in the food, and there are nuts in the food and you get sick. The waiter spills wine on your clothes. You start talking about former loves. Your date looks at her watch, and yet somehow you go out again, hoping for a better date the next time around. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting that it's a relationship of self-abuse or a relationship of one-sided love that is never returned. although it could become that if you let it. No, it is the love once burned brightly. It's the love that grows weak from a lack of attention. But it is that unique love that never goes away, even through challenges, neglect, infidelities, because Ahavat Olam, the spark remains imperfect, flickering, maybe almost cold, hidden but ready and waiting. The love you have felt for someone, a spouse, a friend, a parent, some in this room would even say a dog. The love that transcends any words I could use. I'm not saying that I really conceive of our relationship with God in exactly that literal way. I'm just not sure. But I'm moved by it. I hope by it, for it. And the rabbis who built our prayer service up from nothing after the destruction of the temple twice, and the Jews who were inspired by a moment with God in the desert, who demanded more and were inspired to write the Torah, and the mystics who danced through their tears in Sfat, and the prophets who saw the destruction of Jerusalem and whose words became our Haftarah readings on Saturdays, they saw God that way. They saw that as the relationship they wanted us to think about, as the role model, real, sometimes flawed, sometimes broken, but waiting for the next moment. It is intriguing that those who don't always know better will say Judaism is the religion of the old angry, punishing God. Christianity in the New Testament is the religion of the loving God. Because while it is true that the Bible in many cases does have those images, the stronger case for the Bible can be made for rachamim, mercy, love, waiting, anticipation. The love affair that is not perfect, that is not selfless. The love affair that is not martyred while seeking perfection, but instead is demanding and flawed like us, but aspirational, and the rabbis would say, eternal. It is all over our prayer book. It is at the center of our Torah portion tonight. And I wanted to speak to you at the beginning because I want you to keep your eyes open as we go through the service. Think about the prayers in the context of that kind of love. You may have thought by coming here tonight you were avoiding the hassle and the awkwardness of Valentine's Day, but surprise, you are still on a date. An awkward date with God. In all the ways we know or don't know, in all the ways we have yet to conceive. Yes, on Shabbat and Temple I can still say, Happy Valentine's Day, Shabbat Shalom. We turn to page 138. We're only going to read the first line. Some of you will recognize this tune. Some of you will not. But other than the words Lecha Dodi, Shabbat Shalom U'Mivorach, a Shabbat of wholeness, of peace and blessing. And we'll do it a couple times, and then we'll move onward. But the only new tune tonight, I promise. Let's join together. Lecha Dodi,
Likrakala, likrakala, b'nei Shabbat, nikabla, nikabla, lecha dodi, likrakala, likrakala, b'nei Shabbat, nikabla, nikabla, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom U'Mevorach, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom U'Mevorach.
Page 145, Let's read together in the middle of the page. Teach me, O God, bless prayer, the mystery of liberty, on right and free so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to read, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Bless my day today as the one before. Bless the routine set on ways. We rise from the bar food to remain standing through Shabbat. Page 148, we read together. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening to the evening, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness, and darkness from light, transforming day into night, distinguishing one from the other. Our nights are over to your name. Verily God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hallelujah.
Olam, Yisrael, Amcha Havta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu, Umeinu siach b'chukecha, V'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, U'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Kihem chayenu, V'oret yameinu, Uvahem nege yomam v'layla, yomam v'layla, V'yavachal tasir, Mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael.
Please be seated as we turn to 155 and read together. Love your God with every heart, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them have the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them in the doorway of your house or outside the gate. They are reminders to you all on this road, so that you can be holy to God. I am Adonai your God. I let you have Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God.
Kamocha, Elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'etar b'kodesh, Nora tehilo osefele, Nora tehilo osefele. Utecharu vanecha, Bokayom lifnei Moshe. Zeli anu ve'amru, Zeli anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed.
Ne'emar ki padah Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Page 160. Please join us.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu Shalom ve'ata v'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu reinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu reinu lechaim.
Page 163. The fog has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the streets. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering the song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. We begin on the next page with tefillah as we enter the presence of this place where I hope to find the words. We begin on the first 3 pages together in Hebrew, and then we continue our own on the next 10 pages in Hebrew or in English. We begin standing, but then we continue standing or sitting. The words in the book or the words in our heart, however we wish to use them, until we get to 178. First we rise as we join together and ask, O God, open our lips, that our mouths may find the words. Eloheinu
Shalom Rav O Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav O Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Yatahu Melech Adon Lecho HaShalom. Yatahu Melech Adon Lecho HaShalom. Shalom Rav O Yisrael Amcha Tasi Leolam. Shalom Rav O Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav O Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav O Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Turn to page 364. As we prepare to take the Torah from the ark, I'd like to ask you to please rise. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Udvar Adonai Mirushalayim. In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope, freedom as its gift to all who treasure it. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch.
I'd love to take it. I've never done that.
See how you're feeling.
I was thinking, what did you catch me?
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Echad Eloheinu Kadosh Adonai Kadosh Shemo Gadlu Ladonai Ulerom Lima Shemo Yah Adonai Agadu Savehahod Ki Kol Bashamayim Muvah Ki Kol Bashamayim Muvaret Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha V'yamni Naseh Lecho L'Rosh Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Ha'olam Omer Al Shlosha Devarim al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, haolam omed, al Torah v'al avodah v'al gemilut chasadim, al Torah v'al avodah v'al gemilut chasadim, al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, ha'olam omed. So if you are physically able, not if you're not, I'm going to ask you to remain standing. That is the custom, to stand as our ancestors did as they received Torah. Although in fairness, there are many different versions, and in some they weren't even awake. But we're going to go with the one where they were all standing when they received Torah. And we'll remove the chocolate clouds. You can put the crayon there. We have to prioritize a little, right? So room for thank you, Howard, and thank you, Jackie. Although anyone's welcome to come up, I specifically want to ask that if you're having a birthday in the month of February, come on up. And I'll be reading the Torah. You won't be reading the Torah. Don't worry. I mean, because maybe you're nervous. Although it's an invitation that you always can volunteer to read Torah, but we'll give you notice. There we go. We're going to be reading from the Ten Commandments. Thank you so much. No volunteers. Okay, well, you have a birthday in February. I should know that. Thank you. But you're going to come up too. Thank you. And Sandy, you have a birthday. Don't worry, I'm reading the Torah. What I am going to ask is there anyone who'd like to read a little English? Yes. Was it yeah? Nope.
I'll read English.
Okay, we'll split it. Jack, you'll do a little, then you'll do a little. What you're going to do is read English when I stop. Okay?
Yes.
See that? So there we go. So at least you can follow the commandments, not in case. Yep, right after I go up, where I put a line. There you go. Howard's going to get the part where they get short, and he's going to be following. When is the rabbi stopping? But I'll help you. The blessing for, I mean, it's okay. 368, the blessing over an aliyah to the Torah. Here we go. Baruch hu et Adonai hamborach. Baruch Adonai hamborach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu kol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Adonai noten haTorah. Vaydaber Elohim et kol hadvarim ha'ela lemor. Anochi Adonai Elohecha asher hotzeiticha me'eretz Mitzrayim mibeit avadim. Lo yelecha Elohim achirim al panai. No, wait, more. Where is that right? No, that's right, cut it. That's the first commandment. Take it away, Jackie. Sorry.
Okay, and God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, who brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Lo ta'aseh lecha fesel v'chol tmuna asher b'shamayim mima'al v'asher ba'aretz mitachat v'asher b'mayim mitachat la'aretz. Lo tishtachaveh lahem v'lo ta'avdem ki anochi Adonai Elohecha El Kanai Poked Avon Avot Al Banim Al Shaleshim V'Al Reveim L'Sonai V'Otze Chesed L'Alafim L'Ovai Ul Shomrei Mitzvotai.
Thou shalt not make unto thee a graven image, nor any manner of likeness of anything that is not in heaven above, or that is in the earth below, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down unto them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children into the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto the 1,000th generation of them that love me and keep my commandments.
Lo tisa et et Shem Adonai Elohecha Lashav, Ki lo yinakeh Adonai et asher yisa et Shmo Lashav.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain.
Thank you so much. All right, here we go. I'll let you know when. All right. Zachor et Yom HaShabbat lakadsho, sheshet yamim ta'avod, va'asita kol malaktecha, v'yom hashvi Shabbat l'Adonai, Elohecha lo ta'aseh kol malacha ata uvincha, uvitecha, avdecha, v'amatcha, v'hemtecha, v'gercha asher bisharecha, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz, et hayam v'et kol asher bam, v'yanach b'yom hashvi, al kain beirach Adonai yom hashabbat v'kadshehu. There you go.
Remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath unto the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any manner of work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha lema'an yarichun yamecha al ha'adama asher Adonai Elohecha notein lach.
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Lo tirtzach.
Thou shalt not murder.
Lo tinaf.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Lo tignof.
Thou shalt not steal.
Lo ta'anev re'echa eid shaker.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Lo tachmod beit re'echa, lo tachmod eshet re'echa, va'avado, va'amato, v'sharo, v'chamoro, v'chol asher l're'echa.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, not anything that is thy neighbor's.
Thank you. We join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai notein Torah. Before we put the Torah away, no, don't go anywhere yet. I'm going to beat this idea into, I'm going to beat into submission with it. So we always offer a blessing to our birthday members. This prayer is not our traditional Misha B'Era for coming to the Torah. It comes from Julius Lester, who was a powerful advocate in the 60s and 70s, African American for the Black Power movement, and in the 70s began a journey that led to his conversion to Judaism, and wrote a powerful book about it, and in the ending said these words as he ascended the Bema for his first service as a Jew. He says the following as he is finishing: I know now at long last what my voice was meant to sing. All those years I sang folk songs and spirituals, blues, work songs, and always knew that something was absent, that as much as I loved spirituals, I was not wholly present. Now I know why. It is this music my voice was meant to sing. It is the music of praise and love that releases my soul into my voice. And I have known that ever since I was 7 years old and sat at the piano playing Kol Nidre over and over. I knew. It took only 40 years for me to believe in what I knew. All too soon it is over, and I descend the bema and begin walking up the aisle to return to my seat in the back of the synagogue. The oldest member of the congregation offers me his hand and says, Yasher Koach, more strength to you. There are tears in his eyes, and I want to cry in my joy. I know now who I am. I am a Jew, and I'm a love song to the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, a praise song to the God of Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah. That is all the 613 mitzvot are. The Midrashim, the Talmud, the Torah, Kashrut, Tzedakah, and everything else in Judaism. They are love songs to Hashem, and so am I. May you be love songs to God as you came up on this bima on your birthday to take your place here. May God bless your steps and keep you strong in this year to come and give you all the blessings you need. Amen. And some people say new, a blessing. Give me something tangible. So today's chocolate comes from Israel and says Mazel Tov. So there you go. There, and it didn't melt in my pocket, amazingly. So on that note, before we put the Torah back, we are going to mention those names of our members who are in need of healing. Today our blessing in Hebrew, Misha Be'erach, Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Imotenu, Sarif, Garach, El Valea, Hu Yevarech, Et Kol HaKurim, Ha'elu. May God watch over all those whose names we mention now, not only the names on the back of this pamphlet, but any names you may wish to add as I look at you through the sanctuary. Thank you. Anybody else on this side? Anybody else? Okay, start up here.
Audrey Hartwell.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleihem L'Hachlimam Rafyotam Hachziotam Vayishlach Lehem Mehera Refuat Shlema Min HaShamayim. May God, who blessed our ancestors, bring them to strength, restore them to health, speedily give them a complete renewal of body and spirit. If that is not possible, we pray that you will give them courage, those who are healing and those who cannot heal, insight to their caregivers, their doctors, their families, all who love them and take care of them. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Blessed is God who brings healing to those in need. And let us say, Amen. As we prepare to return the Torah to the Ark, we turn to page 374. Yahalalu et Shem Adonai, Ki niskav shemo levado, hodo al eretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren le'amo, tehila lecho chasida, lifnei Yisrael, am kerovo. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Before the open ark, page 374, behold the good doctrine that has been given to each of us, the Torah. May we never forsake it. Eitz Chaim hi, lama chazikim ba, v'tohom ha'merusha. remain standing. We turn to page 586 before the open ark for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabach l'adon hakol l'atei gedula v'yoseh breishi shelo asa kugoye haratzon v'lo samanu k'mishpachot hadama shelo sam chalkenu kahem v'gol aleinu k'chol hamona v'anachnu korim u'mishtachravim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo Please be seated. Page 594, as all of our services conclude with that most precious of love, that love that brings us to memory at loss. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy, for it is a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. On this Shabbat, as we mention those who have passed away, for those who are as comfortable, it is the custom of some in this congregation to rise when they hear the name of a loved one they are remembering. And so we note in this 30-day period known as Shloshim, since the loss of a loved one, and mention the names of Linda Abramson, Paul Alcon, Jerry Lynn Stearns. If we have any guests who are observing the 30 days since they lost a loved one, you can mention their name. We have the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of their deaths. Helen Ginsberg Archenhold, Max Burenbaum, Ellen Silver Bauscher, Mary Chanowski, Benjamin Cooper Smith, Frida Crystal, Marcus Sturtz, Mark D. Freinkopf, Selma Friedman, Max Gilbert, Ray Marks Gilbert, Danny Glazer, Maria Gluck, M. Herbert Hersfeld, Winfield Clark, Albert Mayer, Charlotte Ray Mann, Jack Newlander, Jimmy Owen, David Pachter, Sherman S. Resnick, Barbara Rosenthal, Faye Sarfati, Lil Sachs, Henry Schlinger, Mayor Reisel Ben Solomon, Helen Zimmerman, Ernest C. Stanley, Barry Torrig, Alan Tobis, Lucille Walderman, Emily Weil, Alex Wolf. If anyone else is visiting who has a yahrzeit this week, thank you. We all join to offer support to those who are in mourning, and to think of those who may have none to say Kaddish for them except us. Is there another yahrzeit? No, I get a sense. Say more wiser. Thank you. We join together on page 598, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayichon v'yomechon, v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalal v'zman v'mru, amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbam V'Orach Le'olam U'Mayomaya. Shorach V'Yishtabach V'Yitba'ar V'Yitrom V'Yitnaseh V'Yitadar V'Yitala Shmeid Kudsha B'Richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbachata V'Nechamata Damirom B'Almal V'Imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Alinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. Say Shalom B'Mromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Alinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Imru. May the source of peace and wholeness bring these to all who are broken, all who are in need, and let us say, Amen. Please be seated. Following the blessing over wine and bread, you are invited to join us to the far right outside the chapel, where there'll be an Oneg Shabbat, the joy, the pleasure of Shabbat. There'll be chocolate, but there'll be lots of other things as well. And so do join us with that. I'm not going to read through all the announcements except to tell you one. There are a lot of things going on. Almost every day except Monday when the office is closed, but every other day there's things going on at the temple, quite a few events. I want to thank Jackie and point out that there was some glitch. We somehow didn't get the prime timer event in here, but there is a great event this Wednesday, and I think you can RSVP until Monday if you want a lunch, later if you don't. And Dennis Benjamin, whose exhibit is opening up tonight, who's here and whose exhibit is opening up tonight. It's been here all week, but tonight's formal will be in the boardroom. So when you're eating your chocolate or your guacamole or whatever it is, just over here in our boardroom are a wonderful, wonderful collection of beautiful paintings that Dennis has brought to us, his memories, his experiences from South Africa and nature and what touched him. I think it will touch you on this Shabbat. How often do you get to have chocolate and say Shabbat Shalom and meet an artist? So thank you for all being here tonight. If we ran out of sheets, I apologize. I was in the office and I said, if we get 50, I'll be shocked. Well, there you go. So I don't want to push my luck. 3 weeks of different groups coming to services. So no guilt. I only want to say, no guilt. I just want you to note that Micah Friedman is a rabbinical student. That means you get that initial energy, that little bit of edge, that little bit of not quite refined, or someone who is in his second year of rabbinical school right now. I knew him as a bar mitzvah in Tampa many years ago. I'm sure I can only take this much of influence because I left right after his bar mitzvah and took another job. But he is coming with us from his studies at the Hebrew College in Boston. And at his request, it's a real immersive Shabbat experience. You can come to any part. He'll be speaking Friday night about some of his social justice initiatives that are a part of who he is as a young rabbi. On Saturday, he'll be leading a participatory service in here, and then we'll have lunch. There'll be Havdalah and study that evening. He'll be teaching the next day. If you choose to come for Havdalah and singing and learning, we'll be done by 7:30. So if your play tickets are at 8, you'll still make it. You can even leave early. So do check the schedule or the e-blasts. And enough announcements. Our closing song is the last line of the Kaddish, page 598, Oseh Shalom, peace to all in need, and speedily we pray.
Oseh Shalom
Bimroma
Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu
Ve'akol Yisrael Ve'imenu Amen.
Oseh Shalom
Bimroma Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'akol Yisrael Ve'imenu Amen. The blessing over wine is on page 123, the Kiddush. If you'd like a little bit of juice, or here it is. There'll be other food if you want to come up for Kiddush. I would say especially if you haven't had your bar mitzvah, but I don't want to pick on the Saginaw students. They're not even Jewish, although they're more than welcome to come up and get some juice. And anybody else, anybody who hasn't had their bar mitzvah of any age, anybody who just wants to hold a big wine cup, I can do it, but I'm just making the offer. I guess it'll be me then. Okay. Well, I bet you I'm going to get more takers when we get to the chocolate challah. So here we go. Please rise and join with me as we welcome Shabbat with the sweetness of wine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishim ki hu yom techila l'mikroi kodesh zecher l'tziyat mitzrayim kivanu b'charta v'yota anu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat. L'chaim and Red Goldstein come up too. Red is one of our confirmation teachers for so many years. So whether he wants it or not, he gets to hold the chocolate challah. He's so great teaching our 10th graders. He does so much for that. No one else. We won't eat it. Come on up, Ira, chair of our worship committee, Dr. Ira Hollander. The chocolate challah brought him up. Anybody else want to grab one? You get the first pieces before everybody pulled. I don't want to make any virus jokes, but it's the safest one to be the first person to pull on the challah. So maybe that's too soon. I don't need to joke, but it's too soon. Just where you are. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Motzi lech min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat 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 shalom. Shabbat shalom. Thank you. Coming up. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat 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 shalom. Thank you. If you find a juice no one's drank, you can have it. There you go. Yeah, the ones that aren't, there you go, there's a big one, there you go. Thank you for coming in. Thank you. What? Yeah, no, go for it, yeah. Everything all right? Yeah. Shabbat shalom. Thank you for coming up, getting the chocolate. Thank you. Just, oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's good. I mean, he was like, she's getting quieter. I was like, no one's coming here. So when I'm getting quieter, she's getting like, she's a good sport. Thank you. And sometimes you need a little push. So this is the kind of discussion that I want to do as a discussion. Like, here's Shabbat Shalom, here's 4 prayers, let's talk about it. And then I thought, for Ruth and Russ, I'm going to sit down today and I'm going to make it a sermon. So,
And me too. I didn't express, because I was, trying to moderate the others. But, I love learning so much.
Yeah.
But there is a day that goes by where I don't think that I've learned something. To me, that's a failed day. I love learning things. And just to listen to you and to have a perspective. I wouldn't have. I know you would because you do.
Yeah.
But,
Thank you.
To think about this back and forth, sort of loving to be part of it. That's
Thank
my...
you. I appreciate it.
That's my...
And yesterday was helpful. Everybody was sharing where they're coming from, and I thought, let's see how much we can get in one service. So thank you very much. Thank you. And I wasn't as quick as Ralph, but for all those things we did okay. I kind of kept it, the train was going.
If you caught me smiling at you, it was because I was thinking, he didn't really shorten, the beginning prayers too much. He had a pretty long sermon and a long Torah portion, and he got through on time.
Somehow we just kept moving. And it made very well.